Hello.
Hello.
Diego, you can say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Colin.
Go ahead. She can hear you now.
Colin.
What are you doing right now?
What did she say? What are you doing right now? Nothing. I have a piece of
Nothing?
paper. Yeah, I'm waiting
Okay.
for you to. I'm waiting for you to draw.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna mute now.
So what type of paper are you using there?
Construction paper.
Construction paper.
All right.
Yeah. And a black marker. Construction paper and a black marker.
And a black marker. Okay. Again, black marker.
क्या तो बेबी कुछ बोल रहा था तू? नहीं कुछ तो बोल What we gonna do? मेरे पास थोड़े ही हैं।
I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I gave out bunch of instructions. Anyways, so please keep yourselves muted during all the times during the class. Today we're going to start with a beautiful painting, which is going to have a nice set of buildings, a beautiful sunset. We're going to learn how to blend the colors in the background today.
Okay.
Other thing is, everyone, please keep yourselves muted. If you have any questions, note it down in the chat section, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. What we'll do is, when I'm giving out instructions, I won't be reading the chat, but once I'm done giving out instructions, again, I'll go to chat, I'll answer all the questions, and then jump again back to our drawing here. For today's class, you'll be needing your paper, and you're going to keep your paper portrait, meaning you're going to keep it standing today. Okay, we'll be needing watercolors or acrylic colors or gouache colors. So any sort of colors you have, this painting is going to work out for any sort of colors you have handy. So all of them should work for you nicely. Other than that, we'll start with the flat brush today. So this is the brush you'll be needing to start with. And then we're also going to jump to a detail brush to show more of details today. Other than that, I think everything should be good to go. If you guys have, as I said, any questions in the chat section. Alrighty. So to start with today, we're going to start with dark blue color. So in your palette, start getting the dark blue color. Just get a tiny bit of color. Now again, depending on the size of your paper, you'll be taking your colors. There are a bunch of colors we'll be using for a sunset. So take your colors accordingly. Also, the color shouldn't be like super thick. So when you take your color in your palette or wherever you're taking your colors out, just make sure to add a tiny bit of water to it and blend it with the water very nicely. That way you're making sure that your colors are basically smooth enough to flow on the paper and then also blend with other colors, right? If your colors are very thick, they might not blend super easily with the other colors. So let's get started with the dark blue color, and we're going to use a flat brush to start with, which is this one. I'm going to get a tiny bit of water here, going to blend it nicely with my color, and then we're going to start from the top here. So basically, I'll be doing like couple finger of spaces from the top in the dark blue color. One thing to notice is that I am only going in one direction here in terms of colors. Okay, I'm only moving my hand left to right and right to left this way. So my strokes of the brush are only in one direction. We're not going diagonal. We're not going upside down, only in one direction. Make sure to not leave any white gaps when you're coloring. A very important thing to see, like once you're done with your painting, you shouldn't be seeing any white gaps, which are the papers eventually. So make sure to kind of see that nicely. Kids who are super young, who are not using watercolors or acrylic colors, please feel free to use pencil colors or crayons, and then kind of follow the same technique what I'm showing you here. Even with those type of colors, you can achieve like blending techniques there. So I've gone ahead with the dark blue here. And as I mentioned, I've kind of utilized couple fingers of spaces here from the top. Again, let's say if your paper is super big, you might want to do it a little bit more, depending on what you're painting on. Make sure to go nicely in one direction, no white gaps. And once you're done with the dark blue, we're then going to jump to light blue. So nicely finish off your dark blue first. After you are done with the dark blue, you're nicely going to clean your brush. Make sure to thoroughly clean your brush in the water. Clean it dry with a paper towel or your rough cloth, anything you have handy. Make sure to make your brush nice and clean. After that, jump to your light blue. So again, I'm going to take my light blue in the palette. I'm going to mix a little bit of water to my color here. And then I'm starting with my light blue. So when I'm starting with my light blue here, maybe many of you are not aware of in terms of how to blend the colors. So I'm not blending my colors right now. I'm just going like ahead from where I've ended my dark blue. I'm just going ahead from there this way. And once my light blue is done, after that, I'm going to show you all how do I blend my dark blue and my light blue. So this is what I've done, my dark blue and light blue, but we do see a nice definite line in between, right? My colors are not blended yet. So now, how do I blend these colors? Because my dark blue is already dried up here, what I'm going to do is I'm again going to take my dark blue here and I'm going to get like a fresh coat of dark blue this way. Just a tiny bit of fresh coat, especially where the two colors are going to blend for me. After that, I'm going ahead with the light blue. Again, a fresh coat of light blue here. If your colors are still not blending it, just a tiny bit of water in your brush and then just keep blending it in the same direction this way. And you'll eventually see that the line which we had very definite in between has kind of started gradually decreasing. I mean, it has kind of started gradually vanishing, and then you'll start getting a nice blended view there. It should look something like this at the end. And if your colors are still not blended in, again, just a tiny tip. So I would say just dip your brush this much, just tiny bit into the water, and then blend your colors. Just a tiny bit of water. If you take lots of water, it's going to be super watery. Your paper is going to start crumbling up. Okay. So tiny bit of water and start blending your colors. If you're using canvas, if any of the students are using canvas, even if you take a little bit more water, it's not going to be a huge issue. But if it's a paper, it starts kind of crumbling up. So that's a very important thing to notice here. The paper which I'm using here, it's a 300 GSM watercolor paper. It's a hot pressed, if I'm not wrong, or even a cold pressed paper should work, but it's a little bit thicker version than our regular paper, which kind of helps consume all the colors nicely rather than started crumbling up. So if you're using a printing paper, it crumbles up very easily. Okay, our next shade is going to be orange. If any of you doesn't have an orange, you can actually make an orange shade by mixing your yellow and red. Okay, what tone of orange you need again depends on how much red you put into your yellow. So just make sure to add a little bit of red, mix it. If you feel you want it more darker, you can add more red to it. But that's how you can kind of create orange if you don't have one. Again, I'm cleaning my brush thoroughly now. drying it as well with my paper towel. Again, taking a tiny bit of water inside my orange, blending it nicely. And then I'm going to start with my orange here. Even if you see a very definite line, that's absolutely fine for now. Just a tiny bit of water here, a little bit fresh coat of blue again. And then I'm going to kind of start blending my shades here nicely. Don't overdo it because this might create like a greenish or a brownish shade for you if you take your colors a lot into each other. So you need to be aware about that as well. And shading or blending is something which the more you do, the more nicely you're going to get it eventually. And basically stop once you feel like your shades have blended in. That's the time to just kind of stop and then moving on to the next shade. If everyone can please keep their videos on during all the times during the class. Again, once you're done with doing the orange color, we're now going to move to the yellow. But before moving ahead for the yellow color, we're just going to grab a pencil. And using the pencil, I am going to leave kind of 2 or 3 finger spaces from the bottom. And I'm just going to draw a nice and straight line this way. If you guys have any questions, please note it down in the chat section. Okay, let's start with the yellow now. Now I'm moving ahead with my yellow, but I won't be keeping like such a huge space here. I might just keep a tiny bit of space because anyways, we're going to do some buildings here. So it is going to be covered up using the black. So you can bring it all the way down if you want, but it's not necessary because it's anyways going to be covered up. But I wouldn't keep like super huge space as well. So kind of try and bring it somewhere till here. And then also don't forget your blending as well with the orange. I'm going to wait at this moment for everyone to kind of try and catch up till here. We've started with dark blue on top. We've moved then to light blue. We then did orange and then now yellow. We're going to stop here, probably leave like couple finger spaces in between this line and your yellow color. And then at the bottom, we're going to show some beautiful water waves and then buildings on the top here. Okay, by the time everyone is kind of catching up right now, just a brief information on who I am and what do I do. My name is Palak and my studio's name is Palak Studio Inc. I basically teach different art forms to all the age groups, as well as I sell paintings and resin artworks and things like that as well. So if you want to check out my work, you could do that on Instagram, which is under Palak, which is P as in Peter, ALAK, Studio Inc. I'm just going to note it down here in the chat section. And then I also provide in-person and online art classes, which is for different age groups and different ages, as I mentioned. My fees is $64 monthly. It covers for 4 art lessons, and each art lesson is 1.5 hours long. Kids can learn like different drawing, sketching, develop their interest. And for adults, it's specifically in whatever area they're more interested in. I'm going to note down my Instagram link as well in the chat section here. There is a direct website registration as well for the students who are interested in maybe, let's say, one more trial class, or to know more about myself, or to see what I do, maybe ask for timings or anything. There's a quick registration form where you can fill up your details, and then I can get back to you. I can get in touch with you. Alrighty. So now let's get started with our water, and then I'll be giving you out more information later. To start with the water, which is going to be at the bottom here, first of all, we're going to start with a light blue solid color here. So let's get started with the light blue color first. Let's get the light blue color out. Using the same flat brush which we have used for the sky as well, the same flat brush should work for you in the water portion as well. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my blue color. And then giving a nice border line here. See, if this happens, this is a very nice example to show here. Like I just did this. Because this is the second stroke from the same brush, it might not come out nice, but in the first stroke itself, I got these crooked lines here, which is a symbol that your color is a little bit thicker. It needs to be a little bit thinner, right? So you should be at least able to get like a half line super nicely blended. So then you know that your colors are a nice consistency. And then I'm just going to go ahead here. I'm going to kind of nicely fill up this entire section using the light blue. We're not going to shade anything. We're going to show like more details on it. But for now, also in one direction. Don't go in different directions, please. In one direction, and kindly fill up all the white portions. You could also check out my website, which is palakstudioinc.com, and then that has basically bunch of information on the art classes, my fees, my structure looks like, my artworks and things like that. Alrighty, let's wait to kind of nicely fill it up. I'm hoping that your yellow should have dried up once you're done with the blue, and then we can kind of start drawing on it. If you guys feel like this portion is a bit bigger for you, the blue portion, and the size of brush which I'm showing you, it's going to be way too small. Just use a little bit bigger flat brush, right? By doing that way, you could kind of cover up more area at a time, and then the strokes are visible less as well. So the main reason of using bigger brush in smaller artworks is less strokes. So that one thing is always useful there. The colors which I am using today, let me show you them, are the gouache colors, which looks something like this. It's Brewstro Company gouache colors. I really like them on the type of paper I'm using, but I also use the colors which I usually get from Walmart or dollar store as well. So you guys don't need to get like super expensive stuff to make some beautiful paintings. You could easily use these colors. Bring like your basic primary colors, yellow, blue, and red, and then just get black and white, and you should be fine to make all the different sort of colors, artworks, everything. Just get 5 colors. Whenever you're selecting your brush, even from dollar store, just make sure that it's a synthetic. It should be very soft to touch. And that's how you know that this brush is going to even last you long, and then it's going to give you very smooth strokes. So those two things are important, and dollar store stuff should be able to make you beautiful paintings too. Okay, I think most of you don't know this, but I do conduct these classes weekly basis. My free art class is on every Saturday. Same time, we have it for kids, adults, all age groups. We have lately started taking donation as well as an interact or through PayPal, which is in the email. I'm going to give out the email in the chat section here. It basically covers my time and then kind of my Saturday morning.
Excuse me.
Email. Yes, go ahead.
Are you allowed to use oil colors?
So what are you using your oil colors on? Do you mean oil pastels or oil like oil colors, actually oil colors?
Yes, I have oil colors, and it's like a kit. I have a kit, and it has different paint. It has different types of paint.
Okay. Yes, you can use oil colors as well. But I think for oil colors, you need like a special oil to clean the brushes and things like that. I'm not studied detailed in oil colors, but I think that is the scenario. And also, if you're using oil pastels, it should work absolutely fine. Not a problem. Alrighty, let's get started with our drawing portion now. The email is right in the chat section for everyone for either Interact or PayPal for donations. If anyone is interested in, it's palak.durajia12@gmail.com. Other than that, let's start with the drawing now. Okay, we're going to start from here. I'm going to go ahead with a straight line here. Now, you don't need to exactly copy my buildings here. You could do it a little bit different, or you could do like a special tar or something different if you want. Or you could exactly copy me. Then I'm going with a nice straight line. A line then which is coming down. So one recommended thing is that none of your lines, which is in terms of drawing, should go below yellow. right? Because we're going to color all of this. We're going to color all of the building's bottom portion, but nothing above it. So none of the lines should go below yellow, the drawing lines. So we can make sure that the colored portion is nicely done for us. Alrighty. And I'm just going to take it a little bit up here. As I've mentioned already, feel free to make your own shapes, your own buildings. You don't need to exactly copy me. It's absolutely fine if you can kind of create something by yourself. Everyone, please keep yourselves muted during the class. If you have any questions, you could ask me in the chat section.
Other sources.
Qasim, I think you're getting unmuted. There I muted you a couple times. So please keep yourselves muted during the class. If you have any questions in the chat section, please. Okay, once we have drawn this, now we're going to jump to our detailed brush. So the brush should look like something like this. So basically the thinnest brush you have, right? Because we're going to give these outlines here, we want the thinnest brush you have. As thin as possible is good. Now to color here, you could either just do solid black, or you could blend your dark blue and black and then make it kind of super dark blue shade. We're anyways going to use up the blue at the bottom. So if you want to just use black, you could absolutely do that as well. Again, I'm going to take water in my brush. I'm going to blend it nicely with the black. Also,
can you say that one more time, please?
yes, absolutely. We're going to take black and we're going to start filling the black color here. So when you've already took the black and when you have took your detail brush, I want you to roll your brush this way. So by rolling it, you'll make sure that you've got like a nice pointy brush here, and that is how you'll be able to get your details. So once you've got your brush, we're going to start with the border lines first, very nicely and slowly. Once you're done with the border lines, then we're nicely going to start filling up the black color. But before going ahead with the filling up, I'm also going to make a nice straight line at the bottom as well. For the students who have joined late in my class, this entire class is being recorded and then it is being live streamed on YouTube. I'm going to give out a link here for the YouTube, which is for my previous videos or for today's video as well. And then you guys could just kind of uh, make paintings as per your time there. If you miss out any of the links which are being provided in the chat section, my website has all of it, Palak Studio Inc. Just go on it and then you should be able to find like the broadcast videos and everything. Already, once done with the border lines, we're now going to nicely start filling the black color up in this one. Also make sure you're doing this one in one direction as well. That way you'll be getting lesser strokes. That is the important thing here, less strokes. Make sure that there are no white gaps left. Nicely fill it up. Once you're done with the black, then we're going to start again with the water portion. We're going to add on more details to our water at the bottom, but let's finish off the black nicely. Make sure you've got crisp lines in terms of black. You've got beautiful lines done there. If, let's say, if some of the color, let me show you with an example here. Let's say if this color has gone out this way, right? It has just gone out a tiny bit. You could just extend this line a little bit more and fix it with a straight line this way. So there are always ways around for most of the things. Probably not for the background, but yeah, you can kind of play around with this one.
I have to get you dressed. I have to get you.
Here is the website link as well for donations. One other thing is also you could post the pictures, like you could post your paintings on my Google, on the Yelp, any way you like. You could post it, and then I'm going to look at it and see how was it, if anything went wrong, if any borderlines went wrong, if you could do better in terms of your blending, anything. So I could basically give you a tiny review on what you could do better for the next class, and then eventually you'll get a better that way. I am going to give you guys the links for that one as well in the chat section shortly. Here is the link for Yelp and for Google. So this is where you'll be able to post either a review. If you guys liked my class, please post a review for me. It kind of helps my potential clients to see what my job is like, and then they could basically trust me a little bit more depending on the review. So that is kind of one thing, and you could always post your pictures as well there. I'll have a look through them, and then I'm going to give you a review on how you did there, or if there's anything that could be improved. Okay, I'm hoping everyone has kind of completed their black color by now. Let's jump to water. Let's go ahead with the dark blue color. We'll be needing again the detailed brush that we've been using. You know what? No, let's go ahead with the flat brush. Sorry, let's go ahead with the flat brush that we've used for the water and for the sky as well. Nicely clean it dry, and then let's jump to the dark blue. We're going to take our dark blue a little bit more watery than usual today. And then we're just going to go ahead with these smaller and bigger. I'm sorry, dark blue. Dark blue. Yes, because we've already done light blue here. We're going to go ahead with the dark blue, and we're going to use a flat brush as well. Using the flat brush, I'm going to keep my brush this way, which is the flat side touches my paper directly this way. And then I'm going to go ahead with some small, some longer lines this way. Just make sure to take little color in your brush. If the color is a lot, your lines are going to kind of start getting spreaded out. It won't be as thin as you want them to be. So just make sure you don't have lots of color in your brush. We're going to introduce bunch of lines at the bottom here, and we're going to give it a nice watery look at the bottom using our dark blue. After you guys are done with the dark blue, we'll be needing white. This is the last color for our painting today. We'll be using white in the water, and we'll be using them for the buildings as well. So get your white, add nice amount of water to it, and then let's get started. Again, with the same brush, which is the flat brush, I'm going to clean it nicely. Take a tiny bit of white, and then I'm going to add like few, not as much as the dark blue, just like few of the white strokes as well here. And that is it. After the painting is being finished, you guys will be getting like an unmute time for yourself. So you all can unmute, or you could keep yourselves muted and you could ask all the questions you have for class, or any other questions you have regarding the information that I've provided as well. Okay, once you're done with the white at the bottom, then we're again going to need white, but with another brush. We'll be needing it with the detailed brush with which we did like these border lines and everything. We'll be using the same brush again. So if for some of the buildings you wanted to give, let's say, a line or something on the top, you could using the detailed brush with the black. Or let's say if you wanted to show a bunch of lines here, you could do that. You could double line it up this way. Again, this is a very, very detailed work. So only for the students who are comfortable, excuse me, only for the students who are comfortable, not for everyone. So it's absolutely fine if you're not following this step. Just any sort of details which you think might make your painting look a little bit more better, or I would say in detail, just kind of adding two lines here on the sides. Okay. Once you feel that you are good with the details, we'll then jump to white with the smaller brush. Again, the same detail brush, we're going to use that one. And then we're going to start with the details. So again, in terms of details, you don't need to exactly follow with what I'm doing, but just take like a rough idea in terms of what I'm doing here. So I'm adding two. So we're basically wanting to show a bunch of windows from which the light is coming out, right? So we'll kind of play around using that. If you want, you could just add a tiny bit of yellow touch to your white. That might give like a yellowish light. So depends on what sort of colors you're looking for here. Just with a tiny brush, I'm adding more details here. For the younger kids, if you feel this is not something you would like to do, again, you could skip it, or you could do as per your choice, which is like bunch of bigger windows. Okay, so I've kind of added a bunch of windows here. You could populate it more if you want, but I think I'm just going to stop here. Also, you could make a combination of two colors, which you could use like one yellow, one white, one yellow, one white, something like that. So a bunch of colors being used in that one as well. Okay, I'm nicely going to untape my painting here now. Again, this is very useful to get like a very neat borderline. I try to do this with most of my paintings, especially the ones on paper. Here we go. Let me show you the painting we did in last class, and the video for this one as well is available on my website, and also the link which I've provided you here. So this is something we did in last class, and again I did the same borderline thing for this one as well. We have a question. Is this a drawing of a city? Yes, it is a drawing of the city, I guess.
Can I show you the one I did when I was with you?
Yes, absolutely. And
I
yes,
already
now everyone
Excuse me.
can. Yes, go ahead.
Look at the one I did. I'm gonna put my video here. Do you want to see what I did?
Sure. Yes.
Look,
What's your name?
my name's Rishvi. My name's
Rishvi?
Yes.
That's a nice one, Rishi. Wonderful. Did you tape it down?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. Good one. Thank you, Jacqueline, for joining in. Again, we have all the links here. Please post a review if you liked my class. That helps me gain potential clients. That helps me kind of go further as well in my business. Other than that, we have a link here, which is for the donations. Even a tiny donation is going to help me keep continuing the free art classes on every Saturday, because it covers my time and it kind of inspires me to keep going for what I'm doing right now. Thank you everyone for joining in. This was the end of our class. I'm now open to all the questions you have. Yes.
Here's the painting.
That's lovely.
You remember me?
I do remember you. Yes, you're here since last 3 classes. That looks good, Rajshri. Dhyani, beautiful painting. Love it.
You can show yours.
That's wonderful, Rishvi, right?
Yes.
That looks wonderful. Good one.
Here's mine.
There's a little bit more work to be done on your blending, dear, but it looks beautiful. Cam, that's a good one. Good water skills there.
Oh, baby, that's great.
Ishita, good one. Avika, nice painting there. Good job, guys. Again, for the students who have joined very late in the class today, I am going to post a link for where you could see today's recorded video, and then also the past recorded videos for our class. So here is the link where today's recorded video is going to be. So if any one of you have missed today's class, this is where you guys can see today's class as well.
Excuse me, I have a question. Where did you get your paper from?
I got my paper from a local art store, but you could get this from Amazon. Just type in like watercolor paper, a 300 GSM should work. Shannon, that looks very pretty. Good one. Lovely. Georgia, very beautiful. I see you've done some shadows at the bottom. That looks pretty neat. Good one. Lovely.
See
That's
you
a
later.
nice personal touch. Lisa, I can't see it entirely. Could you bring it a little bit in the center for me, please? Lovely. I love your water. Beautiful sky. Good one. That looks very pretty, Christine. Good one. Lovely. Thank you everyone for joining in today's class. It was lovely having you all. All the links are being provided here. The least I'm expecting from all of you is a review on my Google today. And as I've already mentioned, I do provide private art classes too. So feel free to contact me for same. That looks very pretty, Pamela. Beautiful sky shades there. Lovely. I like the fact that you have stick to like lighter shades for your sky and for your water too. So that kind of gives nice contrast there. Lovely. Good one.
Thank you very much. You've been amazing, step by step, very well paced. I enjoyed every minute of it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you so much for that. And you're most welcome. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Okay, guys, I'm going to now end the class. If again you have any questions, please either through the website or all the informations which you have in the chat section. You could also access the video if you're still pending on your painting here. So just access the video, look at it all again, and then you could make this entire painting at home as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye.